Now, with all the customer demands that we're seeing from cross-border, we're starting to see the scale and the volume change when it comes to cross-border. People are now sending money cross-border. Businesses are sending a lot more money cross-border too. At Wise, you work laser focused in this area, but you can actually give your customers a certain amount of time to when the money will be transferred and everything like that. Can you tell me a bit more about how you achieve this speed? You know, the processes, the technologies. Is it automation? Is it just the magic sauce? What is it that makes Wise be able to do that?
One of the points you mentioned there is quite interesting, is telling people when their money's going to arrive. So although half our payments are instant, some are not, and that's limited by the infrastructure available in certain markets that maybe don't yet have instant payment schemes. The very cool thing we've done is actually reverse engineer all the payment schemes around the world to understand what cutoffs they have, both at a payment scheme level and an individual bank level. How long do we see banks take to credit customers' money, right? How long do they take to receive it through the scheme? And when will that transaction actually get posted to the recipient's account? And we run hundreds of our own tests. We get thousands of pieces of customer feedback to tell us exactly when the money arrives. All of this we put together in this pretty awesome model that spits out that one number you see on Wise, which is your money should arrive here, at 11 a.m. tomorrow in 3 hours. It's a very simple number, right? Very simple number. But the complexity behind calculating that number is enormous. We have a whole team working on this for years, literally reverse engineering payment schemes and payment flows. But what we see is the importance of that number, right? As soon as that timeline passes, customers will contact rate increases significantly. Customers will say, you said it should arrive by that point. It hasn't. Has something gone wrong? So getting it fast is one thing, but getting it accurate is equally important to help. Don't reach out to us before we say the money's right, because it's just taking a bit more time. But once it has there, we want to know if there's a problem. So that accuracy is as important as the speed for many customers.
With that in mind then, where is, for instance, automation being used in this system to be able to enable this reverse engineering of cross-border payments?
The most common reason a payment fails in an international payment context is the recipient account details are incorrect. So typically someone has mistyped, put a 7 instead of an 8, or copied the account number into the bank code field, or the other way around. Some human error like that. So we'll send the payment out and it will be returned to us. So firstly, it's important that process is fully automated between us and the payment scheme, that we get these returns in real time and we can immediately do something with them. And secondly, it's important we allow the customer to self-serve and automate this process themselves. So we'll tell the customer, your payment failed, but rather than just returning it to them, say, here's why it failed. The account details are incorrect. Here's what you can do about that, which is, this is what you sent to. Do you want to edit them? Do you want to try again? Do you want to double check with the recipient? And hit, resend, basically. Doing that means we don't need any human interaction in that process. There's no contact to our support team or to our payment ops team to try and work this out. It's just an automated self-serve flow that the customer can handle and unblock their payment to try again.
You see, this is absolutely incredible. And we're talking about the volume of payments that are going cross-border now, to be able to have that almost weapon in your arsenal to enable that customer experience play is fascinating. What does it mean on kind of in such a regulated industry where we know, for instance, there's a lot of AML regulation coming in? I mean, does it help on that side too?
Again, all of this we want to automate as much as possible. There are definitely cases where we might require more information for a certain transfer. There's a reason why we need to know a little bit more.
Sure.
A typical process would be the payment gets held in a manual queue. Someone from an operations team looks at the payment, sends an email to the customer, they reply, they add this information and send it out, which is fine, but it's slow, ineffective, and expensive. We try as much as possible to automate that. So if a payment is held for something, that immediately sends out exactly what we need to the customer to ask them to send it. But also to get this up front as much as possible. So we can do some really cool things like sanction screening the recipient name in the flow in real time as the customer is typing it. So if we think there might be a potential hit, we can then surface additional fields to say, we need a little bit more information. Maybe what's their date of birth or their nationality. That means even before we sent the payment out, we've collected this additional information to not have to bother the customer later. And again, this is partly customer experience, but also operational efficiencies and savings that allow us to lower our costs, pass those savings on to the customer to make Wise cheaper.